this time of year is, I mean, you can't have enough of it, and those are the guys that make a huge impact on the game when, you have to be aware of them physically on the ice and know where they're at, and then at the same time, I mean, he comes up big in those big moments, and it just seems like he's calm in all situations, and if you know him or if you've talked to him off the ice, that's how he is day to day, and he brings that to the rink and on the ice, and when you have that combination, I mean, it just makes for guys that comes up big in big moments, and just a player you love to have on your team, and then one you hate to play against.
Is that everything you knew about him before you got here, or do you have a different appreciation being here in the same room playing with him?
He's I think that the thing that I've learned about him is not as serious of a person as I thought he was. When you see him on the ice and you see him kind of around in the media, you can see very little bit about a person, but he just seemed like he was quiet and very reserved. And once you get to know him, he's actually pretty vocal and really funny and a good guy to be around. But when you see him on the ice, he's so intense and dialed in and very quiet. Like, he doesn't really chirp. You don't hear people during the game. He's just all business. But I've really grown to appreciate his game over the last few years. I think everybody has. Obviously in Calgary, I don't think he was put in a position to succeed the way that he was here. You knew he was strong and physical and could skate and stuff like that. But you saw a whole different side of his offensive game, and I think the majority of the year he's been on the second power play unit too. I mean, if you see the way he handles the puck, he shoot the puck, and if he's running half wall or somebody, he's going to score a lot of goals or a lot of points. And to be able to have that luxury here in Florida, to have him in that position, and producing the way he does, and then playing with Chucky and Swaggy, I mean, it's a deadly combo all over the place. So yeah, he's a great player.
Do you have to hash things out with him, or is it just kind of your history go left unsaid when you become teammates?
No, I mean, I didn't hold a grudge. Like, I know how this game's played. I play it a similar way, and it's something that we joke about. I think, I can laugh it off. Like, I've been in positions where I've had calls like that, or I've done things like that guys end up being teammates with. So just something that it's not a personal thing. Things happen on the ice and you move past it. But yeah, I laugh about it. I joke about it all the time. I joke about it more than he does, but I definitely joke about it.
You got to know him for the first time at the Four Nations.
Yeah.
What is it about athletes that allow you to just kind of put that behind you when you suddenly join forces?
I think it's just the internal respect we have for each other, understanding that what we do on the ice is it's our job, and it's because we're competing for the same goal, and at the end of the day, like, you're willing to do things on the ice that aren't typical of you maybe as a person off the ice, and growing up, I think we learned to have that respect for each other off the ice, and what happens on the sheet stays out there, and it's just all understanding that we're competing at the highest level, and sometimes things go a little bit too far, get physical, but it's not an indication of who you are as a person off the ice. So I think that's the biggest thing, is I've learned that all the way through, and I think that's just kind of the hockey culture. I can't speak for other leagues. I haven't really played any other sports, but in our culture, hockey-wise, is you could get in a fight with a guy and meet up afterwards and laugh about everything, and it's just how it is. You're doing a job when you're on the ice, and that's all it is.
Brad, with the post game, Brad, how critical has that been for this team? And did you know when you got here how deep this team really was?
I think once we got our full lineup on the ice, you could see how deep we were. Obviously, on paper, you could look at it and you understand that, yeah, we're a good team on paper. But I think once you saw the chemistry, the line started to create, and the defensive core started to create, and that wasn't really even, we didn't get our whole lineup until, game 3 in the playoffs.